What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Okay, you guys saw the title of the video. I still don't know what the thumbnail is going to be yet. I think I do it backwards. I should start doing the thumbnails then the video, right? That way I have a better idea. But anyways, so this video is actually a story that I told a few years back. And I thought the video was still up, but people are telling me that it's not, and people have asked me to retell the story. So I'm going to tell it as best as I remember. And it has to do with the Raza from Northern California and the Raza from Southern California, okay? So this was 1996, and the weights had been taken on B facility in New Folsom. The weights had been taken. Somebody had got killed in the weight pile. They took the weights. Then there was some discussions, and it was agreed upon that if the administration brought the weights back, that there wouldn't be any incidents in the weight pile. Prison being prison, there's plenty of spots to hit whoever you got to hit, whatever group you're in, right? It shouldn't be in the weight pile if you want to keep the weights, right? So that was the agreement amongst everybody on the yard. And so they brought the weights back, and the way the weight pile was set up, at the very end of the weight pile, back then they didn't have a fence either. The fence went up in 96, but this is before they put the fence up, okay? All the way to the left side, from the top of the yard, where the Southerners and the whites were at, to the left side, by the drinking fountain was close by. Anyways, that was where the weight pile was for the Raza from Northern California. Wow. I've told the story of Frown, the Bulldog. Shout out to Frown. Shout out to the Bulldog. Shout out to everybody in Fresno. Frown had been on C facility, and the Raza from Northern California had jumped him, had jumped on him and removed him from that facility. And that's how he wound up on B facility, right? Well, Frown was walking laps, and he noticed that one of the vatos from up north that had been involved in jumping on him was on the yard, and he was in the weight pile. So Frown and I believe it was two other Bulldogs ran up in the weight pile where the Northerners were at, right? And, it was one of the Bulldogs. He was a boxer. I think his name was Sad Boy. He had hands. He was one of the ones that went in there, and they were handling their business. But I mean, the Northerners had their weights, so one of them dipped the bar, let the weights come off the bar, and just started clubbing. I believe he was hitting Frown with the bar. I'm not sure. I just remember we looked over and we saw it, and everybody was like, damn, there goes the weights again, right? They actually didn't take him yet. So anyways, so the incident happened. They're going, and it was like 3-on-8 or 3-on-6, something like that. And when the incident was over, what they wound up doing is they put the crime scene tape around the Northerners' weight pile, right? The Northern Raza's weight pile. They put crime scene tape, and next thing you know, the Northerners, all of their weights were removed. The administration took their weights. Rather than taking everyone's weights, took their weights. And so I remember word went out, be on your toes, because these vatos are going to want weights. And so, the vatos from Fresno don't have weights. Our portion of the weight pile was big, right? So it was like, they're probably going to want some of our weights, and they're not going to ask. They're going to try to get them, so everybody be on their toes, right? So everybody was, waiting. And next thing you know, the mouthpiece for the vatos from up north, he goes and he talks to my Sally. He tells my Sally, like, look, we're just giving you guys the heads up, we're going to go ahead and take some weights, some of the weights from the blacks. And my Sally was like, hey, look, if you vatos want, we can work something out where you can get some weights. Because the vatos there, like my Sally and the other older dudes that were there, were more like, hey, you vatos are Raza. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could work. Anyways, the vatos from up north were like, nah, it's cool. They have enough weights, We're going to go ahead and just grab some of their weights and start using their weights. And if they don't like it, then we'll go from there. Then they walked off, okay, cool. And, it was one of those things where, like, my Sally and other vatos were like, this just don't sound right. That's their allies right there, So, again, it was reiterated, everybody be on your toes. So the next day we come out for a yard and, everybody's, strapped up, everybody's waiting, everybody's on point. And next thing you know, my Sally's like, hey, I want 12 vatos to go with me right now, strapped up. Let's go, let's hit the track. So that's my Sally, so I go, boom. We hit the track and we start walking down towards the bottom of the yard. And the Northerners had a table, it was closer to 7 blocks concrete wall. Their shoe wall, their little concrete yard wall, their table was close to that. And they were on their table, and there was probably at least 50 blacks from all different factions that were all surrounded the table. That's what my Sally saw. That's what we all saw, and that's why my Sally was like, Charlie, that ain't happening. They're Raza. Ain't nothing like that gonna happen. Not while we're here, no. So boom, we go down there. And my Sally's telling us, hey, you vatos just be ready. If I go, we all go, right? Okay. So we walk down there, we're on the track. And I don't want to say the vatos' names, the two main dudes for the Raza from up north, but they were right there, and you could see they were engaged in conversation with the blacks. And my Sally calls them, hey, so-and-so. Nobody had realized that we had walked down there, right? And so when my Sally calls their names, everybody, the blacks right there, as well as those vatos, the Raza from Mono, it was like everybody like looked, slow motion, it almost felt like, look. And then you saw the, I don't want to say shock. I know it wasn't fear. Everybody's a man in there. But it was shock to see there was 13 dudes from down south posted right there on the track. And it kind of parted ways. The crowd parted so where there was direct eye contact, right? And my Sally says, hey, are you vatos good? And they were like, they're Raza. They were like, yeah, we're good, eh? And my Sally says something along the lines with, hey, do you need any assistance or anything? And he was like, nah, we got this. And so my Sally says, well, you know what, Holmes? We're going to go ahead and stay posted right here because I don't like the way the numbers look here. And slowly but surely, the crowd started to peel off, and it went back to where it was a couple of dudes talking to a couple of dudes. And that's when my Sally was like, let's jam. Boom, hit the track. Went back to the top of the yard, but everybody was still ready. And it didn't wind up happening where they stole weights. Somehow, some way, they found out about it, and that's why they had circled their table. They were basically letting them know, like, ain't nobody going to take nothing from us. And I think we got there in time for it, put the fire out. But what wound up happening was my Sally and some other dudes got together and told the Raza from up north, hey, check this out. We got a lot of weights, eh? Anytime you vatos want to work out, we designated an area of our weight pile to where you vatos can come, but there's going to be stipulations, of course, for security. You know, it wasn't going to be where you're not, all of you vatos are not going to come at once and work out, because that was right next to the Southerners spot on the yard. So it's like, you're not going to all come and hang out, but you can work out 2 at a time. I think it was 4 max. They told them 4 max at a time. But there was also certain dudes like, hey, Holmes, we're not going to have this vato and this, because there was some that, I remember one of them's name. Actually, I was talking to Gunner about him. But he was one of those where it was obvious anytime he looked at anybody from down south, he was full of hate, you know. And I'm telling this story because I'll be honest, I never saw anything like that happen again, where it was like, hey, they're Raza, nobody can touch them. We get into a beef with them, we get into a beef, and when it's over, it's over. But it was a trip, man. It was good because I had I got busted in '94. I had only been in a couple years, and I got busted in '93 and sent to the CDC in '94. And it was a good thing for me, a good education, right? But I tell the story to you guys because those that have never been to prison, some people, there's an end of hostilities in prison now. I don't ever talk about that stuff. That's a great thing. But when there wasn't, it seemed like there were people that had never been to prison that were under the impression that it was always on. It was constant warfare, and it wasn't. I've been on the yard. I've been on 3 different yards with Raza from up north. There was only one yard where it was actually separated. The Raza from up north were in certain buildings on the other side of the yard, and we were on, the other side of the yard. And I was in New Folsom C yard. All the Raza from down south were on 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's the side where the big yard is. The Raza from up north were 5, 6, 7, 8. The backside, and they were only getting yard on the concrete yard. It was a trip, but the other 2 places I was at with Raza from up north was in A yard in Pelican Bay. I was only there briefly, and then B facility in New Folsom. And I don't think, there was a couple little incidents on B facility in New Folsom, but for the most part, it was not what people think. People were doing their time. When things had to go down, they went down, and then everybody's back on their toes and watching, and something happens later, it happens. But that right there was just a great show of how things probably are now. Imagine that this was in 1996 that this took place, and then now they're having that type of interaction. What a trip, right? But that's my video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, man. If you did, hit the like and leave a comment, share the video with somebody. And if you didn't, hit the thumbs down and let me know what you didn't like about it. I always say that on my other channel. I got to start saying that more here. We need more interaction. That way we force YouTube to recognize the video. By the way, I'm going to release this video right now. I have recorded 3 different videos today. 1 here, 2 on my other channel, my reaction channel. YouTube's playing games right now. They're not letting they're saying that the videos are not advertiser friendly, but I'm reacting to videos that are already on YouTube that have views like crazy. And I don't know, it is what it is. But anyways, everybody be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, right? I'm out.